What's up, everybody? This is BakaBites. I'm Frankfurter. That's Magically Average. Today, we are going to be talking about competition and HiDive and Crunchyroll and Netflix and Hulu and a whole amalgamation of things because a lot has happened in the past week or so. It's been about 12 days, so it's
Yeah.
nearly 2 weeks essentially. But just to kind of hop straight into it, other than asking how you're doing, because I know you're a little sick boy right now.
Sick
Uh,
boy.
the biggest news topic that we really want to discuss here is that competition is a great thing. We will always say competition is needed, especially in such a niche industry like the anime industry. And right now, Crunchyroll does have like a stranglehold on a lot of different things. They bought Right Stuff, and now they have a stranglehold on basically the merch side of things outside of independent artists. And they have, I mean, just Crunchyroll in general, they have a lot of seasonal anime every single season. And then there's HiDive, which came out maybe what 2, 3 years ago, something like that, about 2 years
Um,
ago.
well, it's been around
I-
since 2017, but it really started getting the like premier licenses probably like 2 years ago.
Okay, so yeah, basically, it really started becoming a streaming platform of note about 2 years ago, and as of 12 days ago, they have pretty much shuttered outside of North America. They are stopping service outside
Yeah.
of North America. They're going to stop billing people on 12/14 of this year, and then outside of North America, they're gone as of 12/31. Like HiDive will no longer exist outside of North America,
Yeah.
and that really is a bummer. Yeah, I mean, for us, we're still going to have it, so we'll still have some of that competition, but it's a bummer because it limits the competition outside of the United States. It really just leaves Crunchyroll, Hulu, and Netflix. And Netflix is kind of in its own little corner. They take like old shows and they license older shows, like Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, which they're getting more and more episodes of One Piece as they go. Um, but then they do their own signature series, their Netflix originals, and honestly, they've been really good recently.
Yeah.
This past month, we got both Pluto and Scott Pilgrim. Those two, which we're not going by Mal definitions of anime because fuck that, that's stupid. It's not on Mal. You can't find it on Mal. It's really fucking dumb. Scott Pilgrim though is an anime. It's made by Science Seru, which is a Japanese, anime maker. They are anime studio. It's one of those things that like Netflix is putting out quality shows because I think you and I agree Pluto is amazing. Scott Pilgrim was amazing. And in my opinion, I watched Akuma-kun recently and I really liked it. I really vibed with it. Even if the ending was a bit, like I saw it because of the start of the episode, I saw it coming.
Hmm.
But like a lot of people I'm sure didn't vibe with it. But like it's kind of got lower ratings, but then again, it's only got 9,000 votes on Mal. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a darker show that I wish we had gotten in October, but we got early November. So like Netflix is putting out quality shows and has quality shows in the pipeline. But then we look at HiDive and we're like, okay, maybe it's the quality of the shows. Is it the quality of the shows? And this is where you and I we looked at each other, and I'll let you talk for a little bit here because I've been hogging the show here. HiDive has quality shows, if not better quality shows than Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, season to season, they're getting exclusives on High Dive that are, I, I would say, probably top three, or at least, top five every single season. You had Oshino-ko, Dangers in My Heart. You had Danmachi season 4. Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. You had The Dark Gathering, which was the most recent one from fall during the spooky months. So,
This season you have Eminence and Shadow, but
yep.
I mean to a degree that one's kind of a turn your brain off, have fun type of show, which is a good quality show like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
They do it very well
Yeah.
compared to others.
But like we had noted at the beginning too, it wasn't up until like probably, 2 years ago where you started to see more high dive exclusives, and that's why people started to subscribe to high dive outside of just Crunchyroll and Netflix, because that's where a lot of new anime was going to be aired, especially with the Funimation Crunchyroll merger. So it all kind of made sense. And I have the article up for everyone else to view who's watching on YouTube, but it's basically they're leaving HiDive to just the United States, Canada, Ireland, the United Kingdom, and Australia. And the article mentions specifically like a lot of other countries in Europe, like France, Finland, Germany, Denmark, Belgium, Norway, Latin America, Mexico, all these other large areas that have
Well,
fairly
no,
big
Latin America
audiences.
and Mexican users are going to be affected by this.
That's what I mean. That
Oh,
group,
sorry.
yeah, that group that I named from like in Europe, basically everywhere else in Europe other than Ireland and the UK, and then you have US, Canada, and then Australia, right?
Yeah.
And people might be wondering, like, well, why isn't Japan on this list? Well, because Japan has their own streaming services, and this is another part of what I was going to talk about too. Is like these. The weird thing is that we just don't know where these users and these audiences are going to go. The immediate speculation that I had is that it's all going to be migrated more towards Hulu/Disney Plus, because here in the United States, when we have a quote Disney Plus release, it's actually on Hulu. Like the newest season of Bleach was on Hulu. You had oh no, what's the one that we
Oh,
were gonna
Undead Unluck. Undead Unluck this
Undead
season is
Unluck.
exclusively on Hulu.
Summertime Rendering. Jeez, my brain was just
Oh,
so
that was
slow.
the beginning. I forgot. That
Yeah.
was that the beginning of this year? Yeah, it
Well,
was.
that
Holy
had its whole
shit.
debacle of like being in Disney jail forever, but then it finally got released on Hulu. So like here in the United States, where Frankfurter and I are at, we watch all of those Disney Plus exclusives on Hulu. So the speculation is because in a lot of other areas of the world, Disney Plus has their own anime library. So that's where my brain went, is that okay, if HiDive is going to be closing out in these areas, because AMC, who bought out HiDive and Sentai, it like put out the statement being like, oh, we're always analyzing the market trends, and we know the anime base, is a huge audience of our viewers, and they threw out this stat which honestly surprised me. They're like, we realize that 98% of our users are in these areas, so we're trying to find a way to satisfy the remaining 2% that are we're effectively closing off. And I'm like, there is no way in fuck that 98% of your users are in these 5 countries compared to the rest of the world. Like I would say maybe like 75%, 80% at most, but 98%, no way.
Yeah, because
So
there is a rather large demographic for people who like anime in Latin America and Mexico.
yeah,
There is a giant market for it. And I can only imagine also France and Germany. Like Germany, weirdly enough, Germany has more like current manga that have like volumes out for like lesser known series that are still popular. Examples being Shy and potentially Shangri-La Frontier. They already have translated volumes in print way past what we have.
yeah.
Maybe not for Shangri-La, but definitely for Shy. And it's just one of those things. It's like they have a market there. Like that is shocking that you're gonna say that like all of those combined are only 2%.
Um, I'm obviously wearing my JoJo's hoodie, so this is very apropos of me to say about one of my favorite series. But it is very frustrating that all of Steel Ball Run has been translated and is out physically in Spanish, and we're not even 2 volumes into getting the English physical print of Stone Ocean.
Yep.
Like that's how far. I also heard a stat that surprised me, and I really should have looked it up, but I figure it's going to be so hard to find. So Mr. Mastermind at the computer over there, look this up for me. But I've heard that outside of Japan, the country with the second most manga readers is actually France. It's not even the US. And I think it's because of the
You are correct.
French. Yeah, a lot of series also get French releases and publications as well, similar to like how we were just discussing how other countries already have the physical releases of series that aren't even out in English yet. That has to do with publishing rights too, and that's a whole other conversation we've talked about a number of times before too. But like that stat is surprising. So you look at France being right below Japan in terms of manga readers, and you're getting rid of HiDive, which
Yeah.
is again, when you look at the amount of providers of anime streaming sites online, you have Crunchyroll, Netflix, Hulu / Disney Plus, and HiDive.
Yeah.
It's really it, because again, Funimation's not here anymore. It was the merger with, well, technically Funimation bought out Crunchyroll, but they kept the Crunchyroll platform. But yeah, I mean, like, it. Where are they gonna go? Like, where are they gonna now go watch those series? So the question then becomes: is it a matter of now transferring those licenses to other streaming
100%.
services?
Yeah, it
Like,
definitely is, for the fact that it's already started. Like, shows that were and kind of deplatforming from Crunchyroll, from Netflix. Like, when HiDive kind of started coming out, they're like, these are our exclusive shows. Danmachi season 4 going to be exclusive here. It started leaving like different platforms, like subs, dubs, whatever, like different types of forms of Danmachi were leaving there and becoming exclusive to HiDive. And now, and I say that with a grain of salt because there's still like seasons, random seasons here and there, either on
mm-hmm,
Netflix or Crunchyroll.
mm-hmm.
So not all of it got deplatformed, but like majority of it, the only place you could watch it was Hulu, or sorry, not Hulu, HiDive. But it's being moved to Hulu. I went on Hulu because when I'm working, I just pop a series out like on Hulu. Like I could just pop the video out on my browser, kind of hide it, turn my phone upside down, or do whatever, and just listen to dubs while I'm working. Like turn your brain off dubs, not like anything that really needs brain processing power. But when I was looking through anime to watch or anime to listen to, I saw that Danmachi was an option, and it was like recently added. I was like, what in the world is going on here? And then what blew my brain was that Eminence and Shadow was a complete exclusive to HiDive. Like it started fall 2022, season 1 ended winter 2023, and then season 2 is going on right now. And season 1's on HiDive. Or sorry, Hulu now. All of it. All of season 1 is on Hulu. That was
Hmm.
exclusive for less than a year to HiDive. So it's already started going to Hulu. So I wouldn't be surprised that other shows do start popping up here and there depending on what platform may want to pay for it. I think Hulu is going to be a huge landing point for a lot of these, for the fact that if I remember correctly, Disney wanted to integrate basically Disney or like Hulu into Disney Plus by the end of the year, if not early next year. If I'm
Hmm.
remembering that correctly, um, for North America. So it's one of those things of okay, they could theoretically take stuff from HiDive and really expand upon their library. But then again, you also look at HiDive's library and you're like, oh, 80% of this is smut.
Yeah.
This is some sexy shit. And then you're like, that doesn't that doesn't vibe well with Disney. What's Disney gonna do to this? They're gonna censor the shit out of this.
Well,
Uh
that was the whole problem initially, right? And kind
right.
of what we
We were
surmise from
fearful of.
yeah, I mean, just how everything played out with summertime rendering being like the big introduction to Disney Plus into the anime realm. Like this is, and what a blockbuster they snagged, right? And then it was like all this hype about Disney Plus finally having an anime library and the possibilities of just transferring basically everything over from Hulu into Disney Plus, or speculation that there could even be a separate app for just anime that is created by Disney Plus, because Hulu already had an established library with old series like Dragon Ball Z and Bleach and things like that. Like they could just make their own app. Like it would have been easy. And then you ran into all these issues like we had predicted of, well, summertime rendering is not PG. So how do you like limit that on the Disney Plus platform, and how do you control the viewers, and do you create a separate space for it that has to be like locked based on, you know, the age restriction or whatever. Like there
Right.
was a lot of, I think, moving parts that they didn't think about ahead of time, which landed the, you know, summertime rendering in Disney jail, and we still don't even have what is it, Twisted Wonderland, I think. Like I
Yeah,
haven't
I don't
seen
think that
anything about.
ever. I don't think that came out
Yeah,
yet.
I haven't seen anything about Twisted Wonderland, which was like a Disney exclusive anime. So, like, a lot of issues quickly surfaced after there was the, you know, the initial like jump into the anime pool that Disney Plus took, and then they started drowning. And then Hulu's like, God damn it, we'll just, all right, come on, just put everything on our platform. But
Yeah.
now, with HiDive being axed in a number of countries, well, really should just say limited to just 5 countries, right?
Yeah.
Does Hulu / Disney Plus take this opportunity to go, okay, let's actually make an app. Let's start developing a single platform where we're going to house all of our anime, where we can have new anime, because then you have a much easier, I guess, route into getting those exclusives like HiDive had, right? Then you can start getting more exclusives, and people might actually join an anime exclusive app versus being like, well, I guess I'll sign on to Hulu for the next 3 months to watch Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, but then I'm off. Like, what are they going to do?
The the answer is no, and the answer is going to really fucking bug you.
I mean, the whole
So,
situation already bugs me, but go on.
article from Variety as of November 8th, 2023. Disney Plus Hulu merged app to launch next month for bundled subscribers. It's going to be a beta app. So basically, keep both of your subscriptions, and if you have both, you can have one app.
So
Wow.
stupid. So
So
stupid.
yeah,
That
basically if you pay for both, they have a beta app that is coming out that'll merge both of them. So it's like, I would assume it's kind of like Amazon Prime, where if you want to watch something, but it's like, oh, you need Showtime, a Showtime membership, log into your Showtime and whatever, and you can watch it on the Amazon app. It's. I feel like it's going to be one of those type
that's
situations.
that's so
It's
frustrating.
so
On a
shitty and so frustrating, and it's so
on a number of
Disney.
different, I know it is
Fuck.
very Disney. It's just on a number of different levels, because we'll move on after this, but like
Yeah.
the fact that you've already clearly established, like, okay, we have 3 streaming services that are all wildly different. We've got ESPN, specifically the ESPN Plus sports membership.
Which I am a subscriber to.
Same here. We have Hulu for all of your other live entertainment, your televised shows, all of your, like, you know, cable shows, things like that, plus movies. And then you have Disney Plus for your just all around
I
Disney
can
library.
show you the world.
Thanks, Frank. All of it, right? You can get each one individually, or you can bundle, because we're not going to pigeonhole someone who might only be there for sports or for the cable shows or for the Disney library, right? We're going to leave that available to you. But now Disney Plus is just like, well, we might as well just make everyone pay for it, because you're going to use it kind of, sort of. So we'll just shove it all into this one fucking app and then just limit you there. And if you want
Yeah.
access, it's just a click of a button and you get access, but you have to pay us monthly. But it's all going to be smushed together. It makes no sense to me.
Yep, I agree. And
Yeah.
before we move on, just in case morbid curiosity gets a hold of you, if you're wondering how much the bundled prices are, because
boy.
there is discounts for the bundled with ads, it is $9.99 a month for both, which is pretty darn affordable, but you have ads.
Yeah.
Or without ads, $20 a month,
Oh boy.
which hurts. That
That's
hurts a lot.
Yeah.
Knowing that, like, Netflix is what I don't pay for Netflix. I don't have. Well, actually, technically, I have access to my parents on my phone. That is the weird. Sorry, side tangent here. Netflix is like, no password sharing. But if you're on your computer or phone, that's fine. You can't Chromecast it, but if you're on your computer and phone, you're a-okay. It makes no sense. I do have access to Netflix, but like, I can't watch it on a TV.
No idea.
But
I
yeah, like I don't know what that pricing is, but it's just like $20 a month, man.
I mean,
Oof.
Netflix is going up too.
Yeah.
Before we move on to Netflix too, I do just want to. I'm gonna turn on the news piece real quick so everyone else can see. So I believe everyone found out through just a notification on HiDive if you were in the regions that are now going to not have HiDive accessible. Basically, it was like just a little notification at the top being like, "Hey, BT Dubs, HiDive's leaving on the 31st of December of this year. You're not going to get billed past the 14th of December. Deuces." And like that was it. And then
It was an
afterwards,
email. It was an email too.
okay, well then because I'm reading in the literal HiDive support area, why is HiDive no longer available in my country? And it just says there will be no service longer be there'll be no longer be available in certain areas outside North America past the
Yeah,
dates.
the
Sorry
the
for your
initial
inconvenience.
the initial high dive article that you had pulled up right underneath the like image of like the apology, like we're not going to
Yeah,
continue service. It says users are reporting receiving a similar email.
yeah.
But yeah, no, like, and back to kind of just our original topic of just like or original discussion point of why is this happening to High Dive? Like High Dive does have really good shows. Like I know we listed off a few of just basically Oshi no Ko, Eminence in Shadow, Don Machi, etc. But shows we didn't even mention that are still in like the mid to high sevens. Akiba Maid War, that was an exclusive. That was I don't know if it was an original or not. 7.62 on Mal. Reincarnated as a Sword, which I absolutely adored. It's
Oh yeah.
7.54. One of the bigger gets that we didn't even freaking discuss. Yurusi Yatsura. Oh
Oh
god,
yeah.
damn!
The
I just
the
butchered
remake.
that. Yeah,
Yurase
the remake of
Yatsura. Yeah.
Yatsura. Like that
Yeah.
was a huge thing. Like that was big news.
Well,
But
and not even new stuff too. I believe they also have Nana. I think they're the
yeah,
only ones that have Nana, which
no,
is like a classic.
no, it's on Hulu. I
Is it
watched
on
it on
Hulu too?
Hulu. I watched it
Okay.
on Hulu earlier this
But I
year.
mean, the fact that they have that license, I mean, they have other older series too. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's shocking from the standpoint that they were slowly over the last 2 years getting more and more exclusives that were again top five, top three of a season. To now we're dwindling down our service providers to just 5 countries. Like we're
yep.
like that's it.
And what's more worrisome is that like the future of High Dive shows we don't even know because like only two shows are really confirmed for next season. Other than Dangers in My Heart season 2, like I don't think that's actually gotten a confirmation for High Dive itself.
I haven't seen anything.
So like the only confirmed things I think I saw for it, which is Chain Soldier and a show that I have not heard of, which I'm trying to buy for time real quick so I can find it. Well, Ragna Crimson is going to continue.
Yeah.
My instant death ability is so overpowered, no one in this other world stands a chance against me. Those are the only shows currently, right now, confirmed for next season on High Dive. Like we know that Oshi no Ko got renewed for season 2, but we don't know again. Are they going to be able to buy the license again to be able to stream it on, outside of Japan?
Yep.
So what's going on? We don't know what's going to happen with High Dive in the future because as of right now, the only big series that we know is confirmed is Chain Soldier, which is going to be a smutty fun
Smutty.
time.
Yeah. Just yeah.
But I would like to point out, because we love competition, Netflix is really gearing up for a huge year next year.
Oh yeah.
Like there are 4 shows that I am thoroughly excited about. Well, 3 shows I'm thoroughly excited about, and one I'm like, okay, let's see how they translate old to new.
Hmm.
But the shows being Delicious in Dungeon, which is I swear to God, it's probably gonna be my anime of the year. It really is. Like I am so excited for this show, beyond belief excited for this show. But you
Sorry,
have Delicious in Dungeon
I'm making
right
faces
off
because
the
I'm going through the article, and the next one was Seven Deadly Sins after.
That's they have like a movie coming out for Seven Deadly Sins, but nobody really cares about Seven Deadly Sins.
Hopefully
But
not.
Delicious in Dungeon, Beastars, the final season, which is done by Studio Orange, that's probably going to be really good because a lot of people love that series. I love reading it. I still need to watch it. We'll probably do that soon. Moonrise, which is Wit Studios, and the character design is being done by the creator of Full Metal Alchemist. Like that is like watching that trailer was like, oh man,
Yeah.
like I don't know exactly what's going on here, but I'm all on board. And
Yeah.
then the one that I'm interested in seeing how they go from old to new is TP Bon, which is a series from the creators of Doraemon, and it's being done by Studio Bones, which Pokemon and all that, the likes of that.
Yeah. Which
Really
Doraemon is
good.
like a old like classic.
If you don't know
Japanese
what
anime.
Doraemon is, go read up on your like anime history because
It's like
you really need to.
big blue cat thing, basically.
Yep, it's like the mascot of Japan essentially, other than
Yeah.
Pikachu. But
Yeah.
like yeah, TP Bon is like a very old series that they're just kind of reviving. I think if I read correctly, it's been 30 years since it had an adaptation. So it's
Uh
one of those things of like, holy crap.
it's been over
Okay,
3 decades. Yep.
let's see how they translate old to new because the Urusei Yatsura series, for all intents and purposes, was a good adaptation. It was a good keeping old feely, but like bringing it up to modern times. So
Right.
to me, like Netflix has a bunch of like that's just like the surface level. We haven't even gotten announcements of like what's to come later in the year. Like
Yeah.
I still
Beat
holding
in
out hope.
motion.
I doubt that's coming next year. I really
But
do because there's only like 20 chapters out of the
yeah.
manga right now.
Yeah.
But the one that I'm really holding out hope for that we get some semblance of news soon, because as of next year it'll be 3 years old, is Comey Can't Communicate.
Oh. Oh my god. Did season 2 come out 2 years
It came
ago?
out in 2021.
Ugh.
So Comey Can't
Felt like
Communicate
yesterday.
came out in 2021. Yeah, it felt like fucking yesterday.
There's 27 volumes out in English.
I have every single one of them. It's fantastic.
Me
I
too.
love that series.
Oh,
But yeah,
quick tangent. Can I just are you upset at all that it turned into kind of like a 4-panel recently?
no, I still
Okay.
love it. I still find it
Good.
absolutely
I still like it
fascinating.
too. Okay. We're
And
on
I
the
will
same
say
page.
that I know the news came out that Zom 100 was coming back on Christmas, but like Netflix is heavily like advertising on their site, like, "Hey, Zom 100 is coming to Netflix on Christmas,"
Yeah.
and it's just like, great.
Well,
Can't wait for that. Like I know that
and
was a
it's
Crunchyroll thing, but it's just like
but
they're still getting properties.
and that's a stark difference from like and I know it was 2 years ago because it was coming out right when Comey Can't Communicate season 2 was coming out. Um, a very stark difference from how Netflix was approaching their anime from back then because you had the issue with Uncle from Another World and the delays in production there due to COVID-19 outbreaks
COVID.
at the studio. And like nothing. You heard nothing from Netflix. Like there was no mention on like anywhere on Netflix about like a re-airing or what was going on. Silence. Like I learned online, like reading different articles and just following like when they were going to reboot on Anime News Network and things like that. Not once was there like ever just an advertisement of like, hey, in case you're watching it, Netflix user, Uncle from Another World is back. Like that would have made me happy because I did enjoy it as it was coming out and it would have showed me like, oh, okay, cool. Netflix actually is caring about their anime viewership and their audiences because they're getting big titles like Comey and other series alike. And just they didn't. But now, to your point with Zom 100, like it's shocking that an anime that's coming out on Crunchyroll, but also available on Netflix too, is getting the
Yeah.
advertisement on Netflix. Like it's getting the hype. Like, hey, come on, watch this. It's back. The final 3 episodes. Christmas time. Let's go. And I'm like, who are you, Netflix?
Yeah,
Are you actually changing? Are you just trying to psych me out?
but also
Is this your like redemption arc here? What's going on?
and one of the weird things too is like there is an amazingly huge show that can go either one of two ways. It's going to sail high or it is going to crash and burn, which comes out at the end of this year. and that is Pokemon Concierge.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I know it's not technically like anime, it is claymation,
It looks cute as shit though.
but it looks adorable.
I
Like, this is something that Netflix is like, cool, this is ours. We're just gonna release it December 28th. Here you go.
I'm not gonna lie. In the trailer, when the girl's going through the different like little toppings on the ice cream or whatever, and
Yep.
she's like, and the yellow's for Psyduck. I was like, my heart. I was like,
But
God.
yeah, like Netflix has really kind of done a 180 with their kind of exclusives and how they release anime. I feel like they've been kind of gobbling up some older shows, kind of like Hulu has, in the attempts to build a library.
Hmm.
But also, they're like, hey, anything that we're gonna do exclusively, we're not doing this weekly shit again. We're
Yeah.
just gonna release it all because I think Uncle from Another World was probably the last show that they released weekly. Like we got all of Pluto all at once, all of Scott Pilgrim all at once, all of Akuma-kun, all of Onimusha, all of Goodnight World, all of My Happy Marriage. No, actually, that may have been weekly.
I think Blue Eyed Samurai is one of their new ones too, and I think that
I
came out
haven't
all at
watched
once.
that, and my old roommate is like, I can't talk. Like he's just gloating
I
about it.
I've heard really good things about it too.
And
And
it's
it
just one of
and
those things. Yeah, they just completely 180'd
yeah, in
their
addition
anime
to that
department.
too, I mean they're going back into film, and I have the article up on Maboroshi, which is the next big Japanese anime film to come out on Netflix next year, actually in
Yeah,
January. Directed by Okada and animated by Mappa. Um, and it was actually, it looks like it was distributed in theaters in Japan by Warner Bros. Too. So big film coming to Netflix, right?
yeah,
It's like that type of stuff. It just we haven't seen much of from Netflix. Like the last big, quote unquote, big film, just partly because of studio, I think, was probably Bubble that came
yeah.
out on Netflix, and
And
that
that
one was
that
pretty bad.
burned.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the animation from Studio Wit, like not a great film. I don't know if it came out around the same time. I think it's actually a little bit older. But I loved Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop.
Yep,
Like that one was wonderful. Like didn't get
still
a
need to
lot of
watch.
advertisement. Like there's a whole massive Netflix library of movies that anime movies specifically that just are not advertised well until now. Like and I again, we're kind of speculating here. We're just kind of throwing shit into the breeze basically, but this could be stemming from the news and I assume there was rumblings like in the industry as well of HiDive leaving basically most of the world.
Yeah,
And now you've got the issue of okay, well you can't let Crunchyroll suck up everything else and become the monopoly just massive fucking monster it's going to turn into, right? You have to start branching out and you're going to have to start investing more into your anime libraries, looking at you, Netflix and Disney Plus and Hulu. Like, I think that's what
which
they're
they
doing now.
yeah, like Disney Plus and Hulu, as we discussed, has slowly started to do it. But like
Yeah.
Netflix is like they're fully there. Like they have an exclusive show done by Studio Trigger. Fucking like you can't get better than that. You really can't. Like Mappa, as great as they are, Wit as great as they are, Trigger is probably one like my favorite by far anime studio out there. They've put out the most consistent work that I've enjoyed out there.
Yep.
I know a lot of people have a lot of things to say about Darling in the Franxx. I absolutely enjoyed it. Regardless, all at the end of the day, all that needs to be said is competition is a good thing. I really hope that, HiDive either lands on their feet with this or they do the research enough to be like, okay, cool. Maybe we get the streaming rights for this season and then we put it on another platform immediately after just so we can recoup some of the money. Like whatever they need to do,
Yeah.
I just want HiDive to stay around for the fact that I like the competition. So I hope they figure it out. I hope that the next year of anime is wonderful because as of right now, we do have a lot of announcements like that are coming next year that are fantastic, and
Yep.
I'm super looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to all the comments here for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Greatly appreciate it. If you want to watch some shorter form content, you can follow us on TikTok or YouTube Shorts. We are posting there YouTube Shorts a little every once in a while, more consistently on TikTok. If you don't want to follow us there, please support us otherwise by just listening to this, telling people you should listen to this, etc.
And
So until next time. Oh,
I promise we're gonna be making more content on YouTube too. Right now it's just the podcast. We're gonna be making more stuff when I'm not half dead. So be on the
what he's
lookout for that. It's gonna be we're very hopeful for this next year. Let's just spend 1 second just talking real quick about next year too, because we're approaching the holiday
Yeah,
season.
that's
Uh,
fine.
the Baka and Company group is looking to grow pretty big next year. We're looking to attend a lot of cons. We're looking to expand our content library across a number of different platforms, and we just like doing what we're doing, and we just want to do more of it. So we appreciate all the support. Again, everything that Frankfurter just said. Please, if you're enjoying this, or at least have suggestions on why we're idiots, or comments on why we're dumb, that's helpful as well. So please go
Yeah.
around. We always appreciate the interactions and feedback.
Yes, we absolutely do. But until next time, Spark Triumph. We'll see you then.